VGK gets physical in the victory over the Blackhawks last night. We will talk about when this game turned in favor of VGK on today's edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We sure do appreciate all of you. And you can find us wherever you get your podcast. And please subscribe to the Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will receive $20 off of your first purchase. Chris, I felt that the game on Tuesday night really began to turn in favor of the VGK in the second period, and I want to talk about the physicality. I thought, personally, that it began with a couple of big hits, and there was first that Zach Whitecloud hit on the rookie, Frank Nazar.
That was your guy.
He hit him on the wall. And then Nick Hague finally paid off a big hit there on a really good hit there on Connor Bedard on that big check on Bedard last night. Cassidy put Barbashev, Tomas Hertl, and those two were just in front of the net planted, right? And then Brady McNabb on the spinorama scores the goal. And I don't know. I mean, Hertl can block the sun. I don't know how teams are going to be able to stop that in the playoffs if they can get themselves that net front presence, which, again, we haven't seen all season long. And finally, you have Tomas Hertl. And literally, like, Peter Mrazek is not a shorty. He's about 6'2", 6'3", and he's a big guy. And he couldn't even see. But again, our unsung hero delivers for the VGK last night in McNabb.
Unsung hero. I like that. Yeah, I mean, listen, Braden McNabb, I've talked about it a number of times, and I talked about it last night, of course. Braden McNabb, you don't see it a lot, but he has very good hands. We're talking about on the offensive side. He has really good hands around the net. He also has really good instincts around the net. He just doesn't take that chance too often because he's not that type of player. I would love to know, like, what his history was, like, when in his career did he become a defenseman? I wonder if I go back and look like at his junior stats and stuff like that, if he was ever a forward and when he actually got moved back, because he's just that good around the net where I wouldn't be surprised if he was a forward at some point. And you mentioned the physicality. Yeah, I mean, Whitecloud, nice hip check. Nick Hague, Connor Bedard, that's a mismatch to say the least. And there's no reason that Nick Hague should be able to check Connor Bedard unless Connor Bedard is skating with his head down like a rookie and just looking to get plastered. So Bedard's got a lot of learning to do. His skill set, he's going to be a phenomenal player when the dust settles. How high will he get? And we'll find out, obviously, way too early to tell. But he has to learn to keep his head up or his career is going to be short. And that would be very sad. And we've seen it happen with a lot of players, Eric Lindros, Rick Nash, just to name a couple right off the top of my head.
Yeah, and Michael Amadio had that goal last night. He won the puck battle against the other rookie, Nazar. Nazar
really
sort of
nice.
gave up. He really sort of gave up, though, after he lost the battle. They're going to tell him just to continue to dig in and chase the puck if he needs to. But it was good to see Amadio there with that big goal in the contest last night. And then we saw Nick Roy, as they called him on TV, the sideline reporter, with the empty net goal. What do we get, like the fifth string team here last night? I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. Let's start with Amadio here. I just pulled up his game log. Amadio, if I recall, has been a healthy scratch for the last couple of games here. So last game played was on April the 10th against Edmonton, and then he sat for the Minnesota and Colorado games, then he gets back into the lineup. So you wonder what Coach Cassidy's plan is going to be for Amadio once the playoffs start. And Coach did talk a little bit about that in the post-game presser last night. He mentioned the quote that got me was, there's going to be some loyalty to players. Okay, fine. I'm okay with that. But which players are we talking about? We're not talking about Paul Cotter, are we? Because he wasn't like, I think we're specifically talking about players that had effects in the outcome of playoff games last season. So where does Amadio stand right now? And there's some injuries out there, so Amadio should have a playoff spot. I mean, he'll be on the roster, obviously, but he should be in the nightly lineup, you would think. I mean, I think Vegas fans 10 times out of 10 would take Amadio over Cotter, just as an example right there. So we'll see how that shakes out. But Amadio, he's, another one in the unsung heroes category. He was probably number 2 in both of our unsung heroes after Braden McNabb. And you see after a goal like that, right? He just all by himself, unassisted goal, works hard on the board, steals the puck, takes it down, and just beats Mrazek, who's having a pretty good game. He beat him with a very good shot. So Amadio, he's going to be very important not down the stretch. We're in the stretch now, but once the playoff lights turn on, presumably on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Are they going to play Sunday, or are they going to get the extra day and play Monday?
Oh, I know. Sunday would be the extra day. Sunday would be the extra day.
Okay, they'll play Monday. Did you notice this late game possession where Tomas Hertl called for the puck? He was just imploring his teammates to get him the puck. He's like, "Give it to me," and then he gets it to Barbashev in front of the net, and Barbashev almost scored another goal. But again, this is a different element than we've seen with this team. You've got a good leader. You've got someone, again, who stands in front of the net. I can't sing the praises enough of the contributions that Hertl has made. And I swear, I don't know how you have to play really heavy against the VGK in the playoffs to beat them now, because this is an entirely new aspect to their game.
Yeah, I mean, Hertl, you saw something different from Hertl yesterday that you didn't see as much in his first few games with the Golden Knights. Puck possession. Him and Jack Eichel have a lot of similarities in that. I don't know what the measurements are as far as each player. I think Hertl's a little bigger, at least he plays bigger than Eichel. Although Eichel's been throwing some hits lately, very quietly.
No.
Eichel's finishing some checks.
So just so you understand, so Hertl's 6'3", and Eichel's stick is 6'3" long.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But you're seeing the puck possession out of Hertl. Hertl's getting comfortable now. Hertl is starting to learn where the players are going to be without having to look up to see where they are. So you're seeing his confidence when he's carrying the puck in the offensive zone, because he knows where to get the puck, whether he's going to get to a space or whether he's going to pass it directly to a player. And then he goes down to the net. And the second segment's going to be dedicated to the line blender and stuff. But Barbashev and Hertl on a line, that's fun. That's a lot of weight in front of the net, but that's fun. I mean, it's fun. We're having fun, Tony. We're having fun. You said you couldn't see the sun or something with Hertl. Well, Hertl apparently is screening your bedroom light right now, or whatever room of the house you're in. Because
I'm all natural. I don't need the excess lighting to be popular on this show. And
maybe a little lighting.
We did see Davidson. What's going on here? We did see Davidson, your guy there for Chicago. Were you surprised that the Chicago Blackhawks had that? They put up that sort of resistance against the VGK last night?
No, I mean, listen, you're talking an NHL team filled with a lot of youngsters or players with something to prove, and it's game 81. This is something that ESPN did highlight pretty well yesterday, talking about players playing for jobs, players playing for contracts, players paying to get paid, or just simply because players enjoy the game. It's game 81, right? The season ends for the Blackhawks to Thursday night in LA. That'll obviously matter. We'll talk about that in the third segment, of course. But, they just enjoy the game. It's not a bunch of, there are some vets, but it's not a bunch of vets that are excited to get to the golf course and forget about hockey for a few months. If you took a poll probably of all the younger players in Chicago, they'd want to play another 10 games in the regular season, not because they're going to make the playoffs or anything, but just because there's still that genuine love for the game and wishing to grow their game. So credit the Blackhawks, like they've stuck around. I thought it was a lackluster game from the Golden Knights. I don't mean that in a negative way. They got the job done. They improved their game as the game progressed, as Cassidy stated. So, what do you take away? What do you measure from this game? I mean, Amadio is still a factor on this team. I guess that's important. LT's performance meant nothing to me last night. Now, relax, everybody. Had the game he needed to have. LT's game is meaningless because I don't know if Coach Cassidy and Sean Burke, or maybe the other way around, if Sean Burke and Coach Cassidy are going to look at the game against the Blackhawks and say, okay, Logan's playoff ready. I don't, that the outcome of that game was exactly what it should have been. In the same breath, you wonder Thursday when most likely Aiden Hill goes.
Not most likely. No, he said, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Aiden Hill will start on Thursday.
Okay, fair enough. So
yeah,
there you
Cassidy
go.
said that.
So Aiden Hill is now the cat out of the bag. Okay, but good hot take, Coach. Thanks a lot for that. Fine. What does that mean for Saturday or most likely Sunday for the playoffs? Who's getting that game won?
Monday, they'll give them. Yeah, they'll get all sorts of extra time.
Shut up, Tony.
That was Mika and Doyle telling you to shut up. Mika is the pup and Doyle is the human that was yelling in the background. So, hello, Mika. Hello, Doyle.
That's not Goldie or whatever the dog is.
Shut up, Tony.
That is not Maverick. That is not Maverick. Mika does all sorts of tricks. Mika loves hot dogs, by the way. Mika loves hot dogs from Windy City Beefs and Pizza.
Wow. They told me that Chance the Raptor doesn't speak, but the dog does. This is great. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the Line Blender. Stay with us on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. It says it right there. Come on.
It's for the dogs.
Okay. Gametime is now the authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down closer to the first pitch. And tickets for a lot of the Golden Knights games you could find there on Gametime, as well as Fish coming to the Sphere. There's tickets posted up there now. And what we really like about the app is that it features so many good things like last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, easy to find and buy Major League Baseball tickets, and for every kind of event here in our area. How many of you go to baseball games in LA or Arizona or whatever? Just curious about that because a lot of folks do travel for baseball. Lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, job loss protection. It's all key. You get seat views. You get a panoramic view of where your seat will be in the app before you even buy your ticket. And there's Gametime ticket coverage, which we really like. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets today with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use the redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We are back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas, along with the dog there, Mavericks bro, I guess. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Thank you so much. And, of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. That's where you can find the Chris and Chris Jr. show on Saturday mornings, the YouTube exclusive. And we have a ton of stuff already in the arsenal for Friday's WTF. So, Golick, you like this one. Went with the Vegas Thrill yesterday. We went out to Nellis Air Force Base. Guess who does not get on the base?
Say that again?
Guess who didn't get on the base? I wasn't allowed.
So the players were there and you were stuck at the gate?
They sent me home. Seriously. So I didn't understand that you needed to have one of those federally issued IDs.
Oh,
my
yeah.
driver's license. Oh, yeah, of course. Everyone says that.
I didn't know that. I know what the ID is. Real ID.
Right.
Real ID.
But I better go get one of those IDs now because they go, no, you don't have like this little star, whatever it is in the upper right-hand corner. You can't come in. I thought they were joking. Me denied. Oh. So in any event, so I didn't get to go there yesterday. I was really excited, but the team did, and they're playing tonight. It's VGK night there at the Lee's Family Forum.
There's going to be a new rule that I just heard about. The Golden Knights are going to require anyone to have a real ID to get in the stadium now.
Is that right?
Unrelated.
You think so? Probably starting tonight there at the Family Forum over there in Green Valley. It's going to happen to me. Isn't that great? So I drive it takes like an hour to get out there from the Valley of Green. And then I go all the way out there and then they go, sorry, you can't come in. Huh? Me getting denied? I mean, I could get through the red ropes, bro.
You go through the kitchen where they're cooking and you sneak in like that.
I do.
Go through the red ropes.
I do. I was like, it was a shocker. Okay. VGK.
No one.
Chandler Stevenson and Anthony Mantha missed the game last night. Day to day, Jonas Ronbjorg was called up.
Ronbjorg was good.
So, on the fourth line last night, he just can't finish. Is that his issue there? I don't think he could finish very well.
But that's not his job. I mean, sure, it'd be nice if he put up some goals, but I mean, that's not his job.
Okay. So we saw some crazy lineups there last night that I want you to talk more about. We saw that Ronberg was on the fourth line, right? And then Paul Cotter, did he start on the top line with Tomas Hertl? I think he was on that line last night. Amadio took Mantha's spot, correct?
There was a shift where it was Hertl, Doro. I got the shift chart here. I was kind of going through some of them. So you got one shift where it's Nick Waugh, Amadio, Barbashev. You got Hertl, Cotter, Dorofeev in one. You got Hertl, Barbashev, Dorofeev in another one. So basically Cotter went down and Doro took that spot. You had Eichel out there with Amadio and Howden for a little bit. So I guess the question is, why is this happening? And the answer, I think, is because a couple of things. One, I think it's game 81 of the season. It's the Blackhawks, right? This isn't the game that anyone had circled on the calendar. But Cassidy, I think he's keeping players on their toes, number one. And I think number two, he's trying to spark some creativity. When you're out there with someone you're not normally out there with, you might simplify your game a little bit and just keep it a little more direct and stuff. The playoffs are, and the Golden Knights didn't have to do this a whole lot, but the playoffs are last season. Playoffs are all about adjustments, all about in-game changes, reacting to situations, and players getting double and even triple shifted at times, depending on what the scenarios are, more or less from a defensive side. But you're going to see a lot of weird things when it comes to defensive zone faceoffs versus neutral zone faceoffs versus Tomas Hertl is going to take every single offensive zone faceoff this team has between, April 21st and hopefully about, June the 9th or something like that. So there'll be a lot of weird stuff happening. The Golden Knights did have the luxury of not having to do much with the Lions due to injury or due to poor play in the playoffs. They didn't really need that spark, but Cassidy in game 81, he's just looking to just keep the players engaged in the game and just kind of see what he has. You're looking for plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E in some cases. And this will be just some things for Cassidy to have on his mind once the playoffs do starts.
Well, are we going to see more experimenting on Thursday against the Ducks? Because you could get burned by doing that.
The fog is coming. The fog is coming.
For the audio people, you have to watch our YouTube to understand some of this stuff. Tony's camera, he still uses one of those cameras that has hinges on his phone. And so right now he's getting a little foggy. So you got to watch the YouTube. It's fun. Yeah, he's trying to wipe it off right now. So the question was, what do they do on Thursday with the Lions? Could it backfire on Thursday against the Kings? That's an important game.
Not against the Kings, the Ducks.
The Ducks, whatever. Same thing. Not really.
Same thing,
but totally different. We'll talk about why that game matters, obviously, in the third segment, but you're going to see, it's a game the Golden Knights, they start that game a half hour before the LA Kings do. So it's a game that the Golden Knights do need to win so they can finish where I believe they want to finish in the Pacific Division. Could the line changes backfire? Maybe. Listen, Anaheim's going to come in and do their best to give the Golden Knights a game to have a game effort, and could see some physicality and stuff like we saw against the Blackhawks. And we'll see how it goes. I think getting the win is most important. And if that needs to be done by leaving the Lions as is or by making a bunch of changes to the Lions, Coach Cassidy's going to do it. And he's going to do it with confidence. I think that starts with who's going to be out there, right? We're hoping Stevenson and Mantha was a true, not we're not talking Aiden Hill precautionary. We're hoping Mantha and Stevenson was true precautionary, meaning they got a hangnail in the last game and give them a day off just to be on the safe side.
You know, it was great on ESPN last night. They were talking about my dream line there with Tomas Hertl and Stone together and Stevenson. They threw Stevenson in on the wing. They are listening and watching our show. There's no doubt about that because we've been just singing that entirely the last few weeks.
Stevenson and Stone are definitely two players that have been attached through their Vegas Golden Knights careers, and I like that. Honestly, I think it depends on the scenario. You're going to see, and cover your earmuffs, Tony. You're going to see Cassidy build a line around William Karlsson, assuming the Golden Knights do match up against the Edmonton Oilers and, of course, Connor McDavid. The stats do dictate that William Karlsson does pretty well against McDavid, as well as anyone's going to do against someone who has 100 assists in a season. I believe fourth time in the history of the NHL. Go ahead.
It's hype. It's all hype, dude.
What's hype?
That was Jay Woodcroft just trying to blow up his own player. Come on, man.
Listen, Woodcroft. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure we'll talk about this in a preview show when the playoffs do get officially announced. But Knobloch, he's not done anything either. No NHL Stanley Cup playoff experience. So we'll see what Knobloch has that Woodcroft didn't. I don't think they're any different, but we'll see what happens there. Going back to the lines, and where I was originally going with this, a line with like William Karlsson, Mark Stone, and like a Brett Howden on the left wing or something like that. That also has appeal right there. Or someone else like a Michael Amadio as well. Someone who plays a very responsible game. And then you load up, obviously, with your scorers on the top two lines. I do think for 3 of the 4 series, you will see Stevenson and Stone together, whether it's Hertl or, someone else, how that's going to get balanced. I don't know. That's a great question. But William Karlsson and Mark Stone and pretty much anyone else on the left wing, that's a pretty good shutdown line right there from a defensive aspects.
The line that really paid dividends last night, once again, was Hertl, Dorofeev, and Barbashev. So you tell Doro, just shoot the puck, right? And then those two can just go inside and they just stand in front of the net. I mean, those two they're definitely the 2 most fearless players on VGK. When it comes to net front presence, they're the best on this team.
They're as good as it gets. I think Mantha also has that ability. I think that's what Mantha.
Well, how come we haven't seen that as much?
Well, Mantha, listen, very quietly, Mantha had a 5 or 6 game point streak going right
yes,
there.
I think
Keegan Koltsar's 3 game point streak.
I thought that he would be that bumper guy. I thought that he would be the guy that gets that inside position, and then along comes Hertl, and Hertl is that guy.
No, Hertl is one of the best in the NHL.
Hertl is him, as they say.
What's that?
Hertl is him.
Hertl is him. There you go. Yes. That broadcasting school really paid off. But yes, they're 100% right. And my original point is that Dorofeev is going to get a ton of space out there. If you have Hertl and Barbashev out there, you're going to have the defense trying to move those guys out, and Dorofeev is going to, picture the goalie crease and multiply it by about 10x in a horseshoe. That's where Dorofeev is going to make his living, just taking those shots right there. And you saw it on the power play. Your favorite William Karlsson fanned on a couple, but Hertl sitting right there in front, and Karlsson literally could have replicated his goal that he scored against the.
We talk about all the great things that he does, and then people just go, "No, it's okay. It never happened."
Karlsson didn't have a great game. Let's be clear about Karlsson. He took an offensive zone penalty yesterday. He fanned on a couple passes, and he fanned on a couple important shots. He didn't have a great game yesterday. I can definitely acknowledge that. I'm sure he'd be the first one to say it.
Okay. Also, we need to acknowledge that the Dorofeev goal was not a goal. It hit the crossbar.
That would have been Hertl's second assist. I had Hertl over a 1.5 at
I forgot. I saw your bets. Did you wind up winning?
No.
Okay.
All 4 of those bets lost. I got a little bit back with an in-game bet, but I don't know. I thought they were the right bets.
No. I didn't know that. So that really sucked.
That would have been an assist from Hertl on the Dorofeev no goal. Dorofeev's poker face sucks, by the way. He's going to the bench and shaking his head.
Like, there's no way that went in. He knew the goal horn goes off. Everyone's dancing around. I'm like, did that puck really go in?
It took
'Cause
an
it happened
awkward
so
bounce.
fast,
It
right?
really took an awkward bounce out from the crossbar.
It was funny though. He didn't even try to sell it though.
He's the
That
worst
was
poker
awesome.
player on the team.
No, I really like that. He was just like, no, guys, that did not go in the net. Perfect. At least we've got an honest guy on this team, for crying out loud. Coming up next, a look at the Pacific Division race for the playoffs here. Everything's settled in the East. We'll talk about everything when we return right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Okay, Chris, so I've been told that I'm a competitive person. You think that's true?
Absolutely.
It's in the script. I got to read that. Okay. Well, guess what? I have a competitive side. We all do. And my competitive side, we've got the right graphic. That's cool. Okay. I like to be a big fan of Monopoly Go. Go. And I said goal, but go. Monopoly Go is our sponsor here on this show. I'm sure that you've heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It's a great twist on Monopoly, where you get to play on not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards, which is really cool. You play on these boards in crazy locations. You build up amazing cities that bring you big money. But the best part is messing around with my friends. I can change them to rent on my iconic properties, just like classic Monopoly, as we know. And then you can also rob their vault of riches for myself. And the leaderboards show me who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is. So that's pretty cool. But it's not just my competitive side that loves it. You can team up with your friends and people all around the world as you have time tournaments to earn huge rewards. So get in the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go. It's Monopoly Go. It's now free on the App Store or on Google Play. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick, not one of my better reads. From Las Vegas, we appreciate you tuning in. And thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. And find us wherever you get your podcast. And please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. On Friday, we have WTF. Saturday, the Chris and Chris YouTube exclusive show. So make sure that you follow along. So there was a fan yesterday chirping at me big time, right, Chris? And so the only thing that got to me was it's like, I'm just sick of Tony. And then he goes and reels off about 20 things that I say, like
Where was
South
this
Beach
at?
Bruce. It was on the tweets. South Beach Bruce. We've got Vegas Bjorn, all these nicknames in there. But you have to be a long-time listener to get all of that knowledge on this show. So thank you, bro, for tuning in. Okay, so we wanted to talk about the divisional races here, as everything in the East is settled, and in the West, there's still some work to be done. VGK moves up to third in the Pacific. Vancouver no longer in play as an opponent. Dallas or Edmonton, those are the two teams to choose
There's
from.
a very outside shot that Vancouver is still in play, but it would require Dallas not getting a single point tonight at home against the Blues.
Okay, so Vancouver has been in the top spot for 120 days. It's pretty good. I didn't know. I thought they were a little fraudulent at some points of the season, but they did have a good push at the end of the regular season. They really did.
Vancouver's, listen, they're a factor, right? They're definitely a factor. Although I haven't looked at, I wonder if Thatcher Demko has even taken.
He wasn't
net
a couple
yet.
of games ago. He still wasn't back. Remember, they said they were going to take their time with him.
I'm going to tell you exactly right now. But I mean, listen, Vancouver, they check a lot of boxes. They improve their team throughout the season as far as trades and such go. So, I mean, there's no easy outs. I mean, you can look at a team like Nashville, and then you look at the fact that they went, nearly 2 calendar months without losing a single game in regulation. You want to deal with that. So, full marks to all 8 qualifiers. Of course, we're going to talk about the Golden Knights about that, but full marks to all 8 teams. All right, so the last game for Demko was actually last night. And
he did play last night.
He did play last night, yes.
First
he did
game
play
back.
last night for the first time in a month and a week. beat the Flames, only gave up 1 goal. So Demko got his warm-up game. I'm curious if he'll even play in the finale or if they'll just hold him out for the final, for the playoff run and stuff. But this is where I think the Golden Knights planted their flag. They want the Edmonton Oilers in the first round, or at least they want to get to that 3rd seed in the Pacific Division. And I don't blame them for wanting the Oilers. Golden Knights match up well against the Oilers, and they figured them out last year. And I got a feeling the Golden Knights, as long as they do stick to their game and don't get sucked down the rabbit holes that the Oilers are going to try and take you down, starting with Evander Kane and his shenanigans and Darnell Nurse and everything, and Corey Perry too. Good Lord, it's going to be so much fun. So yeah, there we go. Game on.
Yeah. So you think that VGK is not going to try to do the reverse tank with the Kings and all that? You think that they'll just go out and try to win this game on Thursday?
Vancouver trails Dallas by 2 points as far as the Western Conference goes. The Canucks hold the first tiebreaker, which is regulation wins, which is what would determine. So theoretically, if the Dallas Stars do not get a single point tonight against the St. Louis Blues, the Vancouver Canucks can sneak the top spot in the Pacific or in the Western Conference.
In the Western Conference, yeah.
So you literally might have a scenario, and I think this would be terrible, but you literally have a scenario where the LA Kings playing against the Blackhawks on Thursday and the Golden Knights playing against the Ducks on Thursday, neither team wanting to win. You might get a heck of a 2-team parlay right there with 2 pluses at plus 450 a piece or something like that.
That would be pretty funny. The East is already settled.
Saturday, locked in, yeah.
Saturday's the Lightning and Panthers, and then the Maple Leafs and the Bruins. Those two teams,
great series.
Those are really good series to awesome. Kick things off. And then on Sunday, the Islanders and the Canes. My Rangers against the Capitals.
How do you feel about that? I mean, you think you think the Rangers make quick work of the Caps, or
no.
Is that the one team that you don't want to give any? Give them a taste of the playoffs that could throw a wrench in things. What do you think?
They're going to have to start Rempe to counter Tom Wilson, though. That's going to be fun. I think that's the most intriguing matchup, I think, of that series. But
over under number of fights for those 2.5 for the series.
I like the only thing I like and dislike about the postseason is that you don't want to go to the box. So these guys are like extra cautious about really.
Yeah, but Rempe taking Tom Wilson to the box is a win. That's a net win.
That would be a win, yeah. But nothing's easy for the Rangers there. So I've been a lifelong fan. If they go 2 series, again, they're jinxed. It's rigged. They won the President's Cup. And if they go 2 series, I think I'm happy for this season. I can't get ahead of myself, bro. Can't.
You sound like a New York fan talking like that. That's like you sound like a Chicago, like a Bears fan. Like I'll say it again, a Bears fan would be upset if the team made the Super Bowl and just laid an egg. Like it doesn't matter. Like a Bears fan could be upset if the Bears won the Super Bowl and didn't do it in such fashion. They'd call the score afterwards and just complain and moan about things that gotta get better for next year and stuff. And yeah,
we did have our poll. We had our poll yesterday. Our poll was you picked the winner of the Cup to come out of the West. I picked the East. Overwhelming homers. 94% said the West on the poll.
That's like a friend of mine out in Boston. He did something. He's a Boston guy and tweeted something. And of course, it was all Boston answers. Like, what do you expect, bro?
We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much. Of course, we'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow's already Thursday. We just zip by in these
Tomorrow's
weeks.
Already game 82. Forget that it's Thursday. It's game
number
82.
80, stinking 2.
I still remember the gold carpet like it was yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Again, for my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Lockdown Golden Knights, and we'll see you tomorrow right here. Take care.